Right, Markdown. Commonly see this in README files, documentation, Confluence pages, note-taking apps, you name it, you see it all the time, even in Discord or online publishing tools. Now, I'm here to show you the basics of using Markdown, so we'll get into it. So what you want to do is grab a Markdown editor. So I am using VS Code, which I commonly use to edit README files, but you can use other Markdown editors that are on the market. Now I'll create a file, and the format of this file would be a .md, which stands for .markdown. So we'll say test markdown.md. So the first thing you want to do is have a top level heading. How do you do that? We'll use a hash to indicate the top level highest size heading. So this is commonly known as H1. And so we'll type a text, say this is a test document, and we'll save that. So now we want to preview this. So in VS Code, right click the file and press open preview. Great, we have a top level heading. Alright, let's say if you want to add a subheading with a slightly smaller size. We'll add 2 hashes and we'll say subheading 1. Now the 2 hashes mean H2. Save this, preview. Here we go, we have a subheading. And you can notice the text size is smaller. What if I use 3 hashes? This is H3, so it will be even smaller. So we'll go subheading 2. Actually, make it more consistent with the namings of H1, 2, and 3. I'll just change the names here. And then we'll preview our newly edited document. There we go. Size is getting smaller, and you can go on. Alright, so you want to write some text. So we'll just do this under the 3rd subheading, and we'll say this is a sample text. More words can be added here, keeping it simple. Alright, preview it, looking really nice. Now what if I want to make this text bold? I want to emphasize it a bit. You can use the asterisks surrounding the text, and I mean the actual text. And then we save this and preview, and we see our text bold. And let's say you want to emphasize this, keeping it simple, in italics. You can use underscore to surround the text. Hit save, and there's the italics. Can you have a mixture? Sure. So we'll put the bold inside the italics. Save this. And we have italics and bold. Now let's say if you want to make some bullet points. We can easily do this by using a star and then typing in point 1, point 2, point 3. Save this. Now you may notice that this has changed from star to dashes. That is fine, because you can use either star or dashes in your Markdown editor. Now, if we preview this, there we go. We got our bullet points. Now, let's say you want a number list, or commonly known as an ordered list. You can put 1 and 0.1 again, and I'll copy this text to place it on 2 and 3. Now we save this and then preview again. There we go. Alright, so what if you want to add a block quote? You can use the right arrow and then you can initialize your quote. So say piece. So let's say quote text by someone. Save that. And if we open it, we have a quote text. Now let's say that we'll take the subheading again. Actually, we'll make it subheading 4. And we want to link a text. How would we do that? Well, we can surround this word with square brackets and then use a normal bracket and then name a site. So we'll go https www.google.com.au and save that, preview the text, and then we have a link here. Where is that link open? It open to Google. Cool. Now that we're on the topic of links, what about images? We can add an image by using exclamation, alt text. So you can have any alteration text you want. So this is an alt text. Now the format of the image can be a local file or a link. We'll try to get a link of an image, paste that in, save. Now let's preview it. There we go, we have our image. And let's say if this link was broken, so take this P out, save it, and then we should have our alt text. So if you want to use the image locally, specify the path, save, preview, and we have our image. Now let's say we want to separate this. We have our subheadings. They're separating enough, but we want to have another separation or just a line that breaks a section. So we can use dashes, 3 dashes, to represent a separation. And then you'll see a line here at the bottom. It'll make more sense if I add another piece of subheading. There we go. Now let's say you're writing a README or you're writing a pull request that supports Markdown. And you're trying to refer a piece of code, but you don't want to grab the whole piece of code. So you would use this code block by using backticks. So I'll use first backtick and let's say write our function name in camel case needs to be changed to a proper name. Alright, let's preview that. And the function name is in a code block. Now let's say you want to add extensive code like a JSON or function, or in any language you can add anything you want. So we'll use 3 backticks and we'll end it with 3 backticks, and in between this you will add your code. So let's say we want to add a JSON, and we'll say test1 equals 1, test2 equals 2, and if we preview that, we'll have our code block. Now let's say you want to add formatting to this particular JSON. In many editors you can do this, so I'm going to write JSON here, save this, and we'll have a formatted JSON. If you want to add some JavaScript, so let's add const test fn equals arrow function, then we will say console.log test and return true. And let's save this. This is not showing up red because this is not a JSON, so we'll say JavaScript. And you notice in VS Code it comes up with the formatting automatically. So you go here and look at that, much better. Now let's say that you're writing a text and you don't want to completely remove the text, you want to strike it off. So we'll say this is a sample strike off text, and we're done with this text. So we can strike it off by using 2 tildes surrounding the text. Save this and open it in preview, and this is striked off. Now let's say we want to create a table. We can use pipes, which we can surround our columns and rows. So we'll say column 1, then tab it, add a pipe, and then we'll say column 2, and then tab it again, add a pipe again, and then create another pipe, and this will reoccur down until you finish your table. So we'll make some separation, so we'll add some slashes. Now we'll add some content, so a row, so test 1, test 2, and then let's copy this. And then we'll just preview this. And there we go. We have a table. And this can be extended to multiple columns and rows. Alright, so what if we want to align the text in the table? You can indicate that by using the colon. So we'll try to change this alignment from the left towards the right. And we'll make the center, so alright, as you can see in VS Code, it has formatted automatically, and if we preview this, we'll see the alignment. Alright, so these were the basics of Markdown. Obviously there are more syntaxes that hasn't been covered, and some Markdown support it, some Markdowns don't. So for example, checkbox, you'll see this in some editors that it is supported, and some of them it isn't. So in VS Code it isn't, so I'll just type some text here. surrounding a checkbox. So task 1, and then just to even it out, task 2. And you'll see this hasn't been formatted well because we don't have support for checkboxes. Now obviously we can bring this by using an extension, but I'm just highlighting that there are editors that support it out of the box and there are some editors that don't. Another common feature that we see in editors nowadays is a shortcut command. So that can be done using a slash, or it can be done using an @ You'll find it in the editor of your choice. Alright, so I hope you found this useful, and hopefully I'll see you all later.